What I have here is an AC motor that I got from an electric mixer, the same type you find in any machine that works with AC power, like a power drill, an electric blower, a blender, and so many other machines like that. So next time you see any device that rotates when you plug it into an AC power output, just know that it uses this kind of motor to work. Now with this motor, I made a generator that is powered by the wind. When the wind blows on these blades, spins them and thereby spins the AC motor with it, generating electricity in the process. Now let's see how we can turn this motor from an electric mixer into a generator. Alright, we might know before now what a DC motor is. The ones we can be familiar with is this 775 DC motor, practically the most powerful and also affordable. When you spin any DC motor, the rotor made of copper wires passes the magnetic field that is produced by the permanent magnets. Now, when this rotor passes the magnetic field, the field causes small charges onto the copper coils, giving them some kind of energy, and when you have as many of them, it produces a decent voltage. Now I've done this demonstration of converting a DC motor into a generator, so feel free to check out those videos that are linked down below. Now I know you're asking how we can convert this AC motor into a generator. Let me tell you how. See these red wires, they are connected to the brushes and the commutator. These other two wires are connected to the field winding, which is the stator. I got a socket to test the motor. Now, take one wire from the stator and connect it to one wire of the commutator. Then, the other wires from the commutator and the stator will now be your output, where you plug it into your AC source. I'm wearing a glove because the motor doesn't have any form of covering and protection, and it will lead to electric shock if I touch it with my bare hands. Now you can see that it works and it's really fast too. So to convert this AC motor into a generator, what you have to do is connect some batteries to the stator to make it become magnetic. That will provide the magnetic field that the rotor will pass by, just like in the DC motor. Connect the batteries to the stator through these wires, which will in turn create the magnetic field that we talked about. Now take the wires from the commutator and put them to the multimeter. Spin the rotor and you will see that it creates a decent amount of voltage. Little, but better than nothing. If you like videos and experiments like this, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks. Now that we have established that this motor can act as a generator, all we need to do is to find a means to spin the shaft. And today, we're going to rely on the power of the air, and to do that we need some blades. But first, let's make a structure that will hold this motor in place. I got a PVC pipe to take measurements on. I took some, if not a lot of measurements, so I can know what I'm dealing with, because I want to make a sturdy reinforcement for this motor so that it doesn't shake while in operation. I wanted to reinforce the sides of the motor, so I made this pyramid looking PVC cutout. Made a smaller rectangle to fit in the space here. I put the rectangle in first in that space to make it easier for me to know the position it will have on the pyramid thing. Now I added some glue to it, did the same for the other side, and now we are set. You can see how it looks, and it also raised the motor a little bit because I didn't want the coil to scrape on the base of the motor. And speaking of base, I'm using this wood to act as the base, and I cut some triangular pieces to help reinforce the sides of the motor once they are glued onto the wood. Now I put some glue on the motor, attached the pyramid thing on it, held it down onto the board. Now I added these triangle shaped things to the base of the motor. It will hold the motor and the board together, creating a strong link. I added two on each side to be sure of a better structure. After that, I needed a way to hold the structure up, so I got this PVC with an expanded mouth. I will tell you why that is in a moment. First, place a flat PVC on the other side of the wood like this. Glue it down and then take the PVC pipe to attach on that flat PVC, because I needed a smooth surface for the PVC pipe to sit on. And now I did exactly the same thing I did for the motor, which is taking some triangle shaped PVC thing to reinforce the pipe for a more sturdy structure. After that, I took it outside to test, but we need a stand, so I took this base of a standing fan, stuck a pipe through it, and tightened the base of the fan to avoid the pipe slipping when the generator is placed on it. Now I took the generator setup, placed that extended end on the PVC pipe, because that's why I did it. Then I got some paper to wrap on the shaft of the motor, because the blade I am going to use has a larger diameter. Now, after I'm done with the paper, I got the blade, and we're going to use this blade from a standing fan. It's actually the same blade that this stand came with, therefore they are the same. So I put the blade on the shaft of the motor, tightened it with a screw, and now you can see why I needed the shaft to be identical with the diameter of the blade. Once done, get your battery and hook it up just like I said in the introduction. Now after you've done that, let's test this to be sure it can spin freely. I'm using an industrial fan for this because we don't really get much wind around here except when it needs to rain. Looking at the output, you can see from the multimeter that it works, but just not enough yet to power something big, which is what I was aiming for. But this experiment was really interesting. I hope to make a lot of improvements in the future. Now, seeing that it produces not much output, we can actually do something with it. That is hooking up an LED to see what we can get out of it. Connecting it is just that simple. Now we can turn on the fan and hope for the best. You can see that it does light up really well, even though I was so afraid of having these blades cut my hand, but I'm glad that it did it. Through the blades we can see the LED light up, but let's get a closer look at that. Now you can see the legs of the standing fan though. I really love how this LED lights up. It really encourages me to do better in the future. I really love how this excessive project turned out, and if you stayed till this point, I believe you did too. So please consider to like and subscribe as we are heading to 1K subs very soon. And please comment area or country that you are watching from. Check out the description to watch a playlist I made about other videos. Thanks a ton for watching. See you next time.